Good morning, or afternoon, I should say, on this wonderful Saturday afternoon. How's everybody doing today? I'm just finishing up this card while I wait on everybody to jump on here. Give everybody a few minutes to get here. Is everybody staying warm? Gotta love all this snow, right? No, I don't like that. Those will have to wait. I need to get some brown backing paper for those. All right, I can't see. Is anybody even here yet? We've got a couple minutes here before we start at 1 o'clock. Those were just a couple cards I made this morning. We'll go ahead and start getting set up. This is also, I thought since we've been quarantined, we should have a glass of wine with it. Starting to wonder, am I drinking alone? Hey, Barb. How are you? Hey, Patty. There we go. Get your glass of wine or drink of your choice. I'm going to have wine because, well, why not? This is the first project we're going to be making, so you want to have your supplies out for this one, okay? Kathy, you made it! All right, how are you guys doing? I hate to get started too early. Should we wait a couple minutes for everybody else? Like 2 or 3 minutes? What do you guys think? Give me a heart or a thumbs up. Let me know. I'm going to start off with my first card, and I'm just going to get the stamps ready while we kind of wait for everybody. I am going to be using this saying from Butterfly Gala. The good things in life are better with you. So I'll go ahead and get that open and ready and on a block. Okay. Then I'm also going to be using this honeybee stamp set. I'll be using Wishing You Sunshine and Happiness. I'll be using the beehive, the bumblebees, Thinking of You, Sweet Friend. Lots of things out of this one. So it's going to take me a minute to get all these put onto blocks. Okay. All right, this one. Is everybody staying warm in this wonderful winter wonderland? And a bumblebee and another bumblebee. Boy, this card is going to take a lot of stamps, but that's okay. All right, so I think that's all the stamps that I'm going to be using from that set. I have them all set up here right in front of me. So the first thing, I'll get some of my stamping out of the way. So these are the circle dies from Close My Heart. The layering circle dies. Not Close My Heart, I'm sorry, they're from Stampin' Up. And yesterday when I made the original bee card, it was much easier for me to stamp the sentiment on this white before I die cut it out, because then I had more control over the die cut. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment first. And then when I'm ready, I will run that through the die cut machine. I just found that because this is an arched sentiment, it was just a lot easier for me to die cut it, stamp first and die cut second. Okay, so then I would take my circle die cut and line it up, and then now it's ready to run through my Cuttlebug when it's time. Okay, so I have my die cuts already ready, and I'll die cut those in a little while. So I'll just set those to the side. Let's talk about our pieces that I have here first. Now, this is a piece of scrap for my stamping of my bumblebee, so I'll set that aside. This is a piece of scrap that I'm going to die cut a circle out of for the pole part. This right here is just a circle that's folded in half. So that's what this little piece is for. So I'll set that aside. So if you were in my hostess club a few years ago, you have a copy of the instructions for this slider card. Okay, it's the triple tiered slider card. The base tier was 5 3/8 by 11 3/4, and I already have that cut right here. So that, again, let me say that, 5 3/8 by 11 3/4. Then you are going to score, and I'm going to write this on a piece of paper so that you guys can go ahead and do that. Mine are already scored, but you're going to score this layer at 3 7/8 and 7 7/8. Okay, so go ahead and score this layer at 3 7/8 and 7 7/8. So my score mark is here, here, and here. So I guess that would be on the landscape side. How are we doing so far? Is everybody able to keep up? Hi, Gigi, welcome. You're not that far behind. We're on our very first card, and we're on the first layer, and we have cut this to be 5 3/8 by 11 3/4, and then on the landscape side, which is the 11 3/4, we're scoring it at 3 7/8 and 7 7/8. Now we are going to cut some slits in the side, in the left side of our panel. This is 1 inch in and 1 inch from the score mark. And you are going to cut between 1 inch, and you will cut all the way down to 4.5 inches. So this is from 1 inch down to 4.5, and then 1 inch down to 4.5, 1 inch in on both sides. I can write in pencil on my card because nobody will see it. It'll be on the inside. There you go. We're glad you finally made it, Gigi. I don't want to go too fast, so if I do go too fast, I need you to let me know, okay? All right, so after that piece is ready, we can fold and burnish our edges with our bone folder. Okay, and we're done with the main panel. Okay, this is the bottom section of our card. So our next piece that we are going to cut is our middle tier, and it measures 4.5 inches by 10.5 inches, and here's mine. Okay, it's already scored, but I will give you time to do your scoring. Okay, so the scoring on this piece, on the landscape side again, is 3.5 inches and 7 inches. That's what you're going to score on the landscape side. You brought me a surprise. My husband picked up some Albanese gummies for me.
You know those sour things do have gummies in them? Those balls?
Mm.
Very funny. Oh god, so hot. Oh shoot, I didn't pause this.
All right, so 3.5 by 7, that's where we're going to score. And then we're going to cut these lines again. Remember, 1 inch from each side, and this time we're going to cut between the 5/8 inch mark down to the 4 inch mark. Okay, hi Trish, welcome. Zoom out a bit. Let me see. Is that better? So this is 1 inch. And 1 inch from the score mark. Trish, you can watch the first project on the replay. We're not that far in. All we've done was the first piece and cut in. And I can repeat those instructions in just a second. Patty, is that a better view? So Trish, on the first main piece, we scored it at 3 7/8 and 7 7/8 on the landscape side. And then on the left panel, we cut down 1 inch from the edge and 1 inch from the score line, from 1 inch down to 4.5. So that, if you are able to catch up to that part, that's as far as we've gotten so far. All right, so we have the first panel done, and now we have the second panel done. Now we need those little 1/2 inch by 4 inch strips that I think I threw away. So I will quickly cut some new ones. These are just our slider pieces. There we go. All right, so we are going to take these slider pieces that measure about 1/2 inch by 4 inches. They don't have to be exact because nobody will see them anyway. Okay, we're going to slide this piece in just like that. And we're going to do that on both of our pieces. Okay, just like that. Trish, I cannot private message you right now. Patty, these 1 inch strips right here, we cut on the second panel, the middle one, from 5/8 down to 4 inches. And 5/8 down to 4 inches, but we're 1 inch in from the edge and the score mark. Hey, Victoria, how are you? Hope you were cooking something good. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go on to the next step. Chris made me a pork chop sandwich for lunch. All right. Now I'm going to take my base card and I'm going to move this little slider piece all the way down to the very bottom. And I'm just going to fold it over like that. And then I'm going to just give it a little bit of a trim because it doesn't have to be that long. Okay? Just like that. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing on the middle tiered piece. I'm going to fold over both. And then I'm going to trim them because, again, they don't have to be as long as they are. Okay? So now we have both pieces that look just like that. So I will be using a combination of liquid glue and score tape. And foam dots and, you know, just whatever we have on hand. What can't you see? My hands aren't on the screen. All right. Now I'm going to take some tear and tape and I'm going to put it down the right hand edge. This piece is like a 1/2 inch by 4, Trish. Okay, so that part is ready. First, I'm going to take the big bottom piece and I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to put tear and tape along that band that is in between the slits, okay? Just right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the smaller piece. And I'm going to put tear-in tape Trish, it's 1 inch from the edge and 1 inch from the score mark. Hi, Mary. How are you? So then we have, if we just fold them, this is not gluing them shut. We have 2 pieces that look like this when they're folded. One is slightly smaller than the other. And then you had your third piece, which was just a small little square that measures 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, we're going to take the 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and we are going to open this up just like that. I'm going to remove, make sure that this little slider is at the very bottom. I'm going to remove the backing. And then I'm going to place this on where I have about 1/8 of an inch of it sticking above the top. Okay, just like that. And my glue, for whatever reason, just does not look like it's going to work. So I'm going to peel this off. Because when I close this, I wonder, this needs to only be glued to this little edge. So I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue. And I'm going to pull this up so it's out as far as it will go. And I'm going to close this piece and just rub my fingers on that edge. That way this piece is not glued in and it can slide. So you just have to work it a little bit. Okay, so that it'll slide easier for you. Just work it in there, okay? Next, we're going to take our base piece and we're going to do the same thing. We are going to glue this piece even, just like that. So we'll remove the backing tape from here. Pull that up. We're going to set this in here. Oh, that was too low. You want this to be even with the top here. And centered. Give that a good press, and then I'm going to just pull that up. And I'm just going to, like, I don't know what the deal is, but I feel like this tape is too wide. Maybe I used thinner tape yesterday. I don't know. So I'll just pull it off. And I'll just use a tiny bit of liquid glue on that edge. And then I will fold it over. Now these seams are on the back, okay? So this is all the back side of the card. Then you just flip it over and there's the front side of your card. Now for me, I felt like it was easier to assemble and decorate this card when it's open versus closed, so that I could see the whole card coming together. So first, I have my piece that's going to be put right on here on the yellow. And this piece measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/4. I feel like I should take that down to 5. So I'm going to just trim that down to 5 inches. I'm going to take 1/4 inch off. There we go. So again, those are 3 3/4 by 5. And that fits a little better, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece down. And give it a good press. Next, I'm going to take, boy, that seems way too wide. This section is 3 1/2 inches, so this should be 3 1/4, but it measures 3 3/4, so I need to take 1/2 inch off of this. Boy, I thought I was ready. I guess not. Take 1/2 inch off that one. And there we go. That'll just slide down in there. There we are. Oh, our last piece is finally cut correctly. All right. How are we doing so far? So this piece is going to go here, and then this white will go right there on top of it, but I want to stamp it first before I glue it down. So on my original, here's my original, it looked like that. So I'm going to get that stamp and my Memento black ink. I'm going to stamp this on the left side. And then my greeting, which says, "The good things in life are better with you." All right. So I'm done with those two. Now, to color, I used Y15 and E23. I use those two colors to color the bees and these flowers. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you how to do that. So I use the E23 as my darkest color, and I just put it along the edges of the flower and at the bottom. And then I came back with my Y15 and I colored and blended out that E23 so there were no harsh lines. And that's it. Now that is ready to glue on to my yellow piece. And then this piece is now ready to glue on to here. And all of these layers on the inside have to be flat so that they slide nicely in and out of your pockets. It was sticking up there. Had to glue it down a little bit better. I'm glad you're enjoying this, Gigi. Now, since I have my stamps out, I'm going to stamp. I need 2 large bees and 1 small bee. This bee I did cut out and put on later, but I think that I am going to stamp this right on that circle this time. And then that would be 1 less bee that I have to fussy cut. So 2 large bees and 1 little bee. And this will be done in embossing powder. Now I used glitter embossing, black glitter. I don't know if you can see that. And then I put liquid glass over the bodies to make them shiny. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to close my Memento pad. And I'm going to get my Versamark and my black glitter. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp 2 big bees and 1 little bee. And this is Black Sparkle Embossing Powder by Ranger. And I didn't use my anti-static powder because I'm going to cut these out anyway. So it won't really matter. All right, so those are stamped with embossing ink. And I have my little coffee filter here. Candy bag. That would be Chris eating candy in the background, Kate. Victoria. He's having Werther's caramels. That's funny that you can hear that. And give that a tap. So pretty. Okay, embossing into a coffee filter. Genius. Give my heat tool a minute to heat up. Remember, when you're embossing, you want to heat up the front and the back to prevent warping. And when your embossing powder has melted and turns a shiny color from that powdery look, you know that your embossing is done. There we go, and I'll heat the back again just to help with that. Now I didn't put that too far because I still have to stamp 1B on a circle, so I'll do that in a minute. But isn't that so cute? That glittery shimmer. Now, before I cut my bees out, I am going to color them. I'm using E23 and Y15. I'm taking the E23 and just going in from the edges only on all the bees, because I didn't really want the yellow to be too like bright. I wanted more of a golden color, and I felt like the E23 was just a light enough, dark enough brown to make those bumblebees look a little golden. And then when you add the liquid glass, they sure pop. And there we are. How do you get the embossing powder to be smooth and not rough looking? Gigi, you probably need to re-ink your Versamark pad. If your Versamark pad is kind of dry, then there's not enough for the powder to stick, which means you're not going to get enough powder on. So you either need to re-ink it, or you need to double stamp or triple stamp. And that would be best using a stamp platform or a MISTI. Oh, good. I'm glad that we solved that problem. That was actually one I could help with, huh? If only I could help solve all of the problems of the world. There's one bumblebee. Now, I know I am fussy cutting, but you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. Trish, you could be working on this part and then go back and watch the beginning part later if you needed to. Oh, she must have signed off maybe. I don't know. Kathy, are you doing okay? Now, I will get this up on YouTube later this afternoon, and then you guys will be able to watch this again on the replay if I went too fast. Hopefully, I'm not going too fast today. I've really tried to go slow. With all that snow outside, it feels like Christmas break. I'm glad, Gigi, that you like these videos and call them de-stressors. I think it's a great way to break up the day-to-day quarantine blahs that we're all feeling, especially today when we can't really even go outside because it's so yucky out. When I'm done cutting this bumblebee out, I will be ready to move on to my die cutting. So for those of you who are working with me, if you haven't already done your die cutting, I will be doing my die cutting next. As soon as I am done with this bumblebee. I think my son is still sleeping, and my daughter is over at her boyfriend's house, and they informed me that they won't be here for dinner since they're having Easter dinner with us tomorrow. So they won't be over until late tonight after they're done having dinner with Jake's family. All right, there are my bumblebees. Now I'm going to go ahead and just set this right on top, and I'm going to grab what I need for my die cutting. So I have this circle, and I have these two circles, and I have these two circles. Patty, you can't be done yet because I am not done. I think Patty's just being a show-off. Little Miss Speed Demon. Oh, we lost somebody else. Oh, thank you for that correction. Sydney's fiance, not boyfriend. I'm still new to this whole engagement thing. So let me move this again. I have this die cut taped right where I want it to cut out because I had pre-stamped that. I'm going to go ahead and put this through using my Cuddle Bug. Okay, set that there. And set that there. You're not sorry. You think you're pretty cute. Then I'm going to die cut my scallop circles. And I have one more circle to cut. And that was on that little piece of paper. Well, I might have to come back and cut that. Here's the circle for it, but I've lost the paper. Oh, I found it. It was not stuck to my elbows. It was stuck in my lap. So I'll go ahead and die cut that circle out real quick. All right. So here's all my die cut pieces. So first I'm going to start off and I'm going to stamp my bumblebee here. And on this piece, I am going to use the embossing buddy because I don't want the embossing powder to stick anywhere else but on the bee. So we'll go ahead and get that anti-static up. And we'll stamp our little bumblebee. Towards the top. Sorry if my head got in there. There we go. Maybe Patty should do the next live and teach us something new. That would be fun, Patty, huh? All right, and then we'll stamp "Thinking of You, Sweet Friend." There we go. And I'll color that bumblebee in just like I did the others with a little E23 on the outside and a little Y15 on the inside. And blend those two together. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to mount this circle onto this scallop. Oh, Patty, don't worry. I could hook you up. And then I'm going to take and fold this little circle in half. And I'm going to put glue on the inside, both sides. And I'm going to stick it on here, but I'm going to leave it about 1/8 of an inch from the, so that it will stick out a little so that the recipient will know to pull. That way when it's closed, you can kind of see it. Am I just being a retard? Is your card working, Patty? I don't know what I did. But I know my card's not working very well. Huh. I bet that would work better. Oh, Lord. Yes, I cannot believe I am tearing my card apart. I have quite the mess. And I've probably shown you all wrong. And so, which case, your cards are not going to work correctly either. That would be where I went wrong, right there. So, I had to tear my card apart. Here's, remember these 1-inch, these little flappy things need to go on the back side. I don't know. I got confused. Then if you put it and close it like this, then you can put that score tape. What a mess. I'm just glad you guys love me still. I don't know. I may have to cut more paper. Because, well, that's on the back side now. Okay. Oh, look, that slides so much better. Okay. Now, I am going to peel this paper off. It's the back. And I guess I won't give this card to anybody. Because now I'm going to stick these flaps back through this hole right here. Just like that. You see that? So those flaps are on the back. Now I can seal it again. Will you guys forgive me for completely screwing up this project? Or how many of you are just laughing? I am not laughing. I am completely annoyed by my dumb brain. I am not a very good teacher today. I should be fired. Now we'll seal it. All right. So, haha. All right, so that's what it looks like closed. Open. Now I'm going to take this piece and glue it back down to the middle. Today I am driving the Hot Mess Express. Kathy, I have taken your job. Don't worry, it is my turn. There we go. All right, so looks like that. Okay, now I'm going to glue this bumblebee down. Right there. Okay. Now I'm going to finish the front of this horrid card. Yes, Patty, all aboard is right. And I am going to use crushed curry for my beehive. I'm going to line it up there the best I can. There you go. Now I'm going to take some dimensionals. These ones happen to be black from Stampin' Up. And put them on the back of my white circle. And I'm going to put this onto here. And then I'm also going to pop this layer up off of my card base. Like that. And stick that down. Now I'm going to take my bumblebees and I'm going to pop my bumblebee up. And I'm going to fold in the wings just a little bit and stick that right there. And fold the wings in just a little bit. And stick that one there. And then I'm going to use a mini dimensional for the smaller bee. And he goes right here. Okay, how are we doing so far? And then I added a couple rhinestones on the original. But I'm not sure that I'm going to keep this card because it's, look at the back, it is all torn up. So this card may just stay in my samples, in which case I'm not going to liquid glass these just because this card's a mess. My original, much better. This was what it should have looked like. So that was the first project. Holy Lord, I hope I can do better on the next project. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my stamps and get my stuff out for project number 2, which we're going to make a little box. So for those of you who joined late to the first project, hopefully you are still here and you can keep up with us in the second project. All right. All the stamps are clean. Wipe my area down. So the next project, yesterday I made this cute little box with ribbon and it says hello friend. And then you just slide it out and it can actually hold even sticky notes, a real small pack of sticky notes and a pen or candy, whatever you choose. And it slides out both ends, so it's open. Okay. All right, so this is our goal, except for today, I really wanted to stick with the bees. So there are my pieces for the bees. All right. Hopefully this one goes a little bit less complicated as the last one. All right, so we have ribbon that we don't need till the very end, so I'm going to set that aside. We needed a piece of patterned paper that measures 1 7/8 by 5 3/8. So that's this one. Then I have 2 pieces of white here. This white is 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. And I was going to make the tag like this, and I made that tag using this punch from Stampin' Up. I just stuck this in there, turn it over, line it up, and punch, and voila, we have a tag. However, at the last minute, just before the video started, I decided I wanted to use this die cut to make a round tag. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So then that part will be done. And then we'll start scoring our box. So I want this little tag instead. All right, so the first part we're going to do is we are going to take the larger piece and we're going to score on the landscape side. So the landscape side measures 6.5 inches. And we're going to score. If I can find my scoreboard. I had it. It's gone. Today I'm a mess. All right. I don't know where my little scoreboard went. So I'm going to score using my trimmer. So first I'm going to score at 1 1/4. Score on the landscape side at 1 1/4. If you were in 3rd grade, I would say repeat after me. But you're not in front of me, so hopefully you got that. Score that one at 1 1/4. 1 3/4 is the second score line. 1 3/4. Then you're going to score at 3 7/8. 3 7/8. And 4 3/8. And I will write those down and put those on the screen for everybody who is just a little bit behind me. Okay. So where's my little notepad? Oh, look, I found my stupid scoreboard that I couldn't find a minute ago. All right. So those score marks were, again, on the landscape side, which was the 6.5 inch side. You're going to score at 1 1/4, 1 3/4, 3 7/8, and 4 3/8. 4 score marks. That's what you should have. I'll give everybody a second to catch up with that. All right, how are we doing so far? Now I'm going to go ahead and burnish all of my edges. I'm glad you got a first class ticket on my Hot Mess Express there, Miss Patty. All right, so we're going to put adhesive, 2 strips of the score tape on the smaller side. One down the edge and one down the score line. Okay. And we'll go ahead and peel the backing off. And then I'm going to go ahead and make this a little box that looks just like this. Okay. I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to press it down on the inside. Okay. So that is the outside cover, or the part that our box will slide in and out of. And then this piece here, that pattern piece that measured 1 7/8 by 5 3/8, I'm just going to take some glue and just glue it right down to the top, and it should center nicely. I am so glad that this project is so much easier than the last one. I haven't even screwed it up yet. All right, so there is that part. Now I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to take my other piece of yellow, and this piece is going to be scored at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. And this piece was 3 by 6 1/2. So now that I found my score, because, you know, I couldn't see it in front of my face 2 minutes ago, I'm going to go ahead and score this at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Hi, Krista. Glad you could make it today. I am currently driving the Hot Mess Express. The first project I totally messed up, but I still have people watching, so I guess that's a bonus. We're going to score that at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. And I'm going to burnish all of my edges. Then I'm going to trim my corners. So I want to cut, and then I want to angle cut these little tabs, okay? And I'm going to do this to all 4, so it looks like that. I am so glad you're hanging in there, Gigi. I'm going to have to probably re-record the first card and put it on YouTube and do it correctly so that people don't screw it up. My apologies if you screwed it up. That's what live's all about. No chance for a redo when I'm doing it live. All right, so there I've cut tabs into all 4 of my corners. Maybe I'll pour myself a glass of wine so everybody can catch up. It's wine Saturday. Chris looked at me like I was crazy. This is peach flavored Arbor Mist, in case anybody is curious. It's so fruity. All right, You can use score tape or liquid tape. Liquid glue. See, look, I can't even talk. Either one. If you use liquid glue to fold in your tabs, you're obviously going to have to hold it a little bit longer until that glue dries a little bit. Okay, if you are using your score tape, go ahead and peel and stick. And we're making the bottom part of our box. Don't worry, Gigi, I got you. You can just drink out of the bottle. Nobody will know. Gigi has to go grab a glass.
What?
I said Gigi has to go grab a glass.
Okay.
So that she doesn't have to drink out of the bottle. All right, so there's our little box. And it just slides right in. And so here's the original box, and I have it full of little Easter chocolates. This one, I'm not sure what I'm going to put in yet, but isn't it just adorable? All right, now I'm going to finish it up. I just have to decorate the tag and tie some ribbon on. So here are my 2 tags. Remember, this is the one I did on the first box, but I decided I really wanted a round tag for the second box. So I am going to stamp with the Memento ink. And I am going, nope, I'm not going to stamp there. I am flying by the seat of my pants. I am going to stamp my bumblebee, my little one, onto some scrap paper in Memento Black. Kathy says no wine until the class is over. Well, maybe, maybe not. All right, and then I'm going to color my little bumblebee. Are you done yet, Patty? Little Miss Speed Demon you are today. All right, now I'm going to go ahead, cut out my bumblebee. I can't talk when I'm fussy cutting. There we go. And isn't he going to be so cute popped up on that little tag? Just adorable. And I think I'm going to use... I wonder if this Celebrate Every Moment will fit. Ooh, it will. I just need a clean block. Celebrate every moment. I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp it towards the top. And then I'm going to put my bumblebee using a pop dot, a mini dimensional. And we'll go ahead and stick that. Ooh, you know what I need? think I need is, what if I were to take just a little bit of this crushed curry and just a little tap, 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 a little tap, tap, and just do a little circle right here at the bottom of my tag. And then I'm going to pop that down, and look at the wine makes the ideas flow. Isn't that so cute? All right, so I'm going to take just a little piece of twine. Going drumming. Say bye, Chris. Okay, so here is my twine, and I'm just going to stick this through my tag, and then I will tie this onto my ribbon. So my ribbon, I have this cute gingham. I just thought it was so adorable with the black and white and the yellow. I know we have another project to go, Kathy. Don't worry. I still have a full glass. He's already gone, Gigi. He's going to go downstairs and do some drumming. I'm going to tie a bow onto my box. And I just feel like this box needs big, fat, yummy ribbon. Oh, that's like what RG Presents says. Big, fat, yummy. This has wire in it, so it has a little more ability to do what you want it to do and be all adorable and stuff. Like, look at that. Isn't that cute? I'm going to go ahead and trim it. And trim it a little bit on this side. So cute. And then I'm going to take my tag, and I am going to take this piece of twine, go under the ribbon, and then over the top of the center. And I'm just going to tie it in a little knot. I'm not going to, I did a bow on the other one, but I don't feel like this one really needs the bow. And then I'm going to trim it, and I'm going to twist that knot to the back so that nobody can see it. And ta-da! Celebrate every moment. And there is my original. Maybe we'll put some rhinestones. Kathy, are you keeping up with me? Or are you going to have to watch this on the replay? There we go. Now we even have bling. All right. Well, I'll let everybody finish up and get ready for our third and final project. You'll have, if you don't have your pieces cut, you're going to have to go get them cut. This is our design layout. I will zoom in a little so everybody can see the measurements, and I'll be right back. Phew. Well, I'm glad you finally got sound there, Kathy. All right, so at least I didn't screw up the second project. What a joke that first project was. All right. So let's go ahead and finish up. This is my card base is black. And I have white to put on the inside. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that part. If you didn't have this part done, it wasn't really instructed. I just decided since I used a black card base that I should put white on the inside, okay? Most of you probably used a white card base, in which case you should be good. All right. So the background, this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. It has gold foil spigots, spots, stripes, dashes. I don't know. It's pretty. So I'm going to glue that down nice and well. Then my next piece is this, but I need to dovetail it. So I am just going to lightly fold it. And then I'm going to take my scissors and do my dovetail that way. Okay? That way I know it's in the center. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that piece down. There we go. Miss Patty. Victoria and I talked about that this morning. Remember this card? All of the measurements. She thought it was a challenge, so she had already done her card. But this was the third project, so this is also posted on the Eye Candy supply page. Go ahead and glue that down. Glue my black strip down. Now for the circle, I'm going to stamp on it, and then I'm going to pop up both the scallop and the white. So I think that I am going to stamp this, The Good Things in Life Are Better With You from the Butterfly Gala. And I am going to stamp that right over here on that edge. And then I'm going to take and I am going to pop this white up onto the yellow, and then the yellow I'm going to pop up onto the card. And I'm just using black dimensionals. So Patty, I challenge you to go back and finish this one and just post it on the Facebook page. Okay? And I'm going to stick that down, and now I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of the yellow. All right. And to finish this card off, I think that I need a big bumblebee stamped in black and cut out. So here's a little piece of scrap. I don't know how these like professionals who like video all the time, how they keep a clean workspace. You don't wanna, but Patty, I am sure your bumblebee creation will be gorgeous. Let's see if you can do it and think outside of the box. Is that an emoji of his mind being blown? All right, so there is my little bumblebee. How cute would this bumblebee be? Bumblebee be if I had stamped him on vellum? How cool would he look? I need to close my glue. There we go. And then back to fussy cutting. I hope you are all staying warm and are all healthy as we finish up this last project. I sure have enjoyed doing these projects. Next week will be a Hostess Club project, so you will have to stop by and pick up the supplies any day after Wednesday. Okay, I will probably not have, if I have the supplies done earlier, I will let you know. But my goal is to have the supplies prepped and cut by Wednesday. If you have not already stopped by to get your orders, they are here. But if you just want to wait and pick everything up on Wednesday, that would be fine too. And I'm going to go ahead and stick my dimensional on the back of my bumblebee. And I'm going to fold his wings up just a little bit. And there we go. And I think I need to add some gold bling to finish this card. So I have some gold bling here. There we go. I think that's cute. What do you think? Are we good to go? Everybody happy with their projects? I think I am going to stamp on the inside this celebrate every moment and a little bumblebee to finish off this card. Just like that. Thanks for coming by today. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Stay warm. Send food. And give me a shout out sometime. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.